Can you open the door? Open the door when I tell you!
We're honored to have you.
It is fantastic to be with you. By the way, I was just watching Jasmine Crockett there. What is going on with the knees? I couldn't quite figure that out. Is there some political significance there?
Listen, man, I have no idea. You can, we'll pop up a photo here. This is definitely, this is the problem. She's going to get the cover of Vogue for this, right? Like that, like this is the issue. And they're going to try and cancel Sydney Sweeney, and then they give Jasmine with this look,
yes,
the cover of Vogue. So I don't understand.
Because you obviously have great genes, great knees. I don't know what the next move is, but that was very striking. Got to tell you.
Yeah, there you go. Don't zoom in too far, Killer Klein. Don't zoom in too far, Klein. Goodness, we're trying to have a family show here. Let's talk the governor of the state of California.
Yes.
A party of which you are running against. I guess it's a party because Kamala Harris now has dropped the T and dropped completely out. She's clearly worried about her political future. Maybe we can begin with that, Steve. Yeah. What's your take on that? What's your handicap for why did she do that?
She had no shot. She had no chance of winning. Her own party was saying that because the simple point is this. After the 15 years now of one-party rule in California, everything is a total disaster. It's impossible to live here. Everything is so expensive. It's such a nightmare to run your business, to do anything. People are leaving. Highest gas prices in the country, highest cost for everything, housing, electricity, water, everything. Worst business climate. Total disaster. It's time for change. Everyone can see that. There is nobody less representative of change than Kamala Harris. And so you could see that in the data. She could probably see it, and she really has no interest in solving any of these problems anyway. She just wants to get these jobs without doing any of the work. There was no way that the other Democrats who are running for governor of California were just going to make way for her, which had been her idea, I think. And so she realized, okay, I'm not going to get this on a plate. I don't particularly want the job anyway, and I'm not going to win. So why bother? So I think she's still in this hunt for relevance. It seems to me that all she's actually interested in, like all these classic machine politicians, is just having attention paid to her, getting on TV, going on Stephen Colbert, doing all these things without actually addressing any of the issues that people want solved, because they don't really care. That's been the hallmark of her, just like Gavin Newsom, just like Karen Bass, just like Biden. These machine politicians, their only real skill is kind of navigating the party machine and climbing the political ladder. They're not interested in solving problems because they have no clue how to solve problems. And so I think she saw that. I think you can see, wasn't it amazing just listening to her last week? Just reminded it. We hadn't heard from her for a while. Just reminded us what a massive, how we dodged a bullet last year, the whole country. Can you imagine? It just was a reminder of all of that, just listening to, oh my goodness.
Well, I didn't plan on doing this to you, Steve, but because I like you a lot and you're a decent dude and we've wandered through Skid Row together.
Exactly.
You clearly love the state of California. You're doing your best to save it, but I have to punish you by putting up a Kamala Harris TikTok. And I apologize in advance that I have to do this, but Kamala Harris has decided that instead of running against you, she'd rather become a TikTok influencer. And here's what she was able to create. And I'd just like to get your reaction to it. It's very short.
Thinks you've been kicking back, drinking margaritas on the beach, but really, you've been hard at work writing a book, meeting with leaders, thinking about the future of our country. Who said that?
It's just...
So she admits that she's been drinking margaritas.
Exactly.
I guess there's some honesty there.
I mean, finally, but what? It's so brilliant. She can't do anything right. She literally can't. She can't even make a jokey. What's going on there? I mean, if you even try and deconstruct it, and take it seriously at face value, what is the joke? Who's supposed to? Who's the sort of punchline about? What is this? Who's she talking about? It's just amazing. And you've got to remember that there's probably an army of aides and PR people, whatever, that put that together. They probably rehearsed it for days. Just think, oh my goodness, what is wrong with this person?
Yeah, this is the lady who couldn't get anyone to even take a selfie with her when she was sitting in the nosebleed section at the Lakers game.
Oh my goodness!
Remember that news cycle was amazing. She walked through.
Can we just talk about the redistricting thing? Though I know you were just talking about it. It's a huge thing. There's a massive California angle to this that I don't think is sufficiently appreciated.
We got the maps and everything, Steve. So go
All right,
off.
Fantastic.
King.
So here's the thing. You hear it now and all the back and forth, and I'm seeing it in responses to what I've been saying. Well, Texas started it, so of course California should hit back, or Illinois should hit back. You've got Pritzker saying if Texas goes through with their maps, we're going to hit back. Newsom saying the same thing. That is simply false. They didn't start. Texas didn't start it. The gerrymandering, the unfairness, the totally tilted map for the House of Representatives was started in California by Democrats. And it's really important everyone understands this, because we keep hearing that California has an independent redistricting commission, and that what Gavin Newsom is preparing to do is to take the power away from the independent commission so that he can respond to Texas. No. Here's what happened. In 2008, California voters did indeed, in a ballot initiative, choose to move to an independent redistricting commission. What then happened, and I've spoken to people who were involved in the process at the time, that so-called independent process was totally hijacked by Democrats, totally corrupted by Democrats. And what they did with it is to steal, here's the number, 12 House seats from Republicans. 12. Because if you had fair representation in California based on the criteria that the voters chose, you would have another 12 House seats for Republicans today in California if you had fair representation. But we don't have that. And so it's just ridiculous to say that Texas started it. California started it. And actually, you could go further than what Texas is doing. And I hope other states will, in order to level the playing field and give Republican voices equal representation in the House of Representatives. So everyone has to understand it was California that started this outrageous vote rigging of districts to take away Republican representation. So here are the numbers. Right now, California Republicans, we have at least 40% of the vote, very consistently in statewide elections. For that, we have 17% of the seats today, House seats. Newsom wants to have it go even further, ultra-rigged districts, so that you'd have 7% of the seats in exchange for 40% of the votes. I'm not going to let that happen. I've been in conversation with lawyers all weekend. Tomorrow we're making an announcement that if Newsom tries to go ahead with his scheme to steal another 5 House seats, I will stop him. The legal arguments are on our side. It's not going to happen.
Wow. That's incredible, Steve. Thank you for breaking that news here. We put up the data and the numbers. Yes, even running against Kamala Harris with the Democrats' machine and with mail-in voting and Kamala Harris being from California and so on, and the vice president, and she's obviously from California, or at least that's what she says, Donald Trump's able to pull down 40% of the vote.
Exactly.
And so that would mean that 20 congressional seats should be Republican.
Exactly.
But there are 9.
Exactly, roughly.
There's
Look,
9.
roughly. Let's be clear. I don't want to mislead people. Of course,
Of course,
it's not literally directly proportional. That's not how it works. Districts are supposed to have roughly equal populations. That's the, et cetera. But it shouldn't be wildly disproportionate, which is what we have now. 40% of the vote, 17% of the seats. That's crazy. Everyone can see that's not fair. And now he wants to make it even worse. And here's the other point about it. It just reveals the arrogance that you get from one party rule, that Gavin Newsom's just saying, yeah, you know what, who cares? I'm running for president, so I want to look like the guy who's fighting Trump. So I'm just going to muck around with our districts in California, treat Republicans like dirt, just steal even more representation from them for my political games. Just the arrogance of that is unbelievable. This is what you get from these people. This is why I'm really confident that they're going to lose next year and I'm going to be the next governor. And by the way, when I am the next governor, I will restore the integrity of the independent process so that we do get an extra 12 House seats from California for Republicans. That will be a game changer for national politics.
Yes, absolutely. And we've obviously seen exactly how destructive these single party rule can be to what I consider, at least from a just a on paper perspective, the crown jewel of America, which is California.
Yes, yes.
This should be the California of, well, when I was born and what people remember of the Golden State for the last 100 years before the last few decades of absolute single party, one party rule. And of course, that happened because of unlimited mail-in voting and also because of unlimited criminal alien immigration into the state. Now, we have this breaking news that broke over the weekend that the Supreme Court is planning on looking into making it illegal in the Voter Rights Act, striking down race-based voting districts. I wanted to get your thought on this. I'm sure this is how California this is the predicate for California being able to conjure up a couple extra districts for Democrats. Is claiming it's racist, right, to not do that. Your take on this, Steve?
Well, exactly, because everything for them is about race. And this is how they see the world, rather than treating people equally and fairly. So this is a really, really important move. But I think it's just part of this incredible story that we're seeing unfold with the Trump administration and going right back to the first Trump administration. Because why is all this happening? Because you've had real people, I know we can disagree with certain decisions here and there, but broadly speaking, the most conservative Supreme Court, they'll say conservative, not in a political sense, but in the sense of actually upholding the law and the Constitution, huge ramifications of that in so many different areas over the years, stemming from the first Trump administration. And that is the significance, I think, of this president. You're seeing it play out in so many different areas.
So what does a governorship led by Steve Hilton do on day one, Steve? I just want to vision cast here for the people who are desperate in your state. And there are so many. The reason why it pains me, Steve, is because I know so many good people in California.
Yes.
And they're desperate. And they're desperate for leadership. They're desperate for a fix.
I'm going to bring to bear all my experience to make life better for businesses and families in California so we can restore the California dream and make California golden again. Look, I understand what small businesses are going through. I started and ran restaurants in London. I understand what it's like to battle the bureaucracy because I worked in 10 Downing Street in England before moving here in 2012. And that's what I did there. And I have the scars to prove it. And that is the fight that I'm going to take. And sometimes it takes an outsider to come in and shake up the system, because the system in California is totally corrupt. And at the heart of it is this elitism and corruption you get from this bloated nanny state bureaucracy that is interfering in everybody's life, making it impossible to get anything done, and raising costs at the same time, and making everything more expensive than it should be, way more expensive than anywhere else in the country. So on day one, that's what we do. We start attacking and cutting back the bloated bureaucracy, whatever you want to call it, the administrative state, the swamp in Sacramento, these endless 200 plus agencies churning out rules and regulations, adding cost to families, bills, to small businesses, operations. All of that is what the governor can do. Even if you still have these gerrymandered districts and a Democrat-controlled legislature, as governor, I will control the executive branch and I will start to absolutely cut back and get rid of this bloat and bureaucracy and corruption and elitism in our state government.
Just a final take on this, Steve. Will you be looking into some of the potential graft and corruption with the donations for the fires and Palisades, the Pacific Palisades? This has been something that's been a part of my feed. Spencer Pratt is somebody that ironically has become quite a hero by going after the absolute and total thievery that happened by Democrats stealing all of the money for the Palisades fire. Can you give us just a very quick update on that?
Yes, exactly. $100 million plus, right? Good-hearted people who wanted to help the actual victims of the fires, and their money going right into this swamp of leftist causes and non-profits, what I call the Democrat industrial complex. And that is symptomatic of everything that's going wrong in California. $100 million for fire aid victims. That is obscene. But you can look at that going on with homelessness. $24 billion going to the same swamp of non-profits and cronies of this Democrat regime for homelessness only to get worse. On and on and on. This is why we have the highest taxes in the country, but everything just gets worse because the money is going not to solve problems, but into the pockets of the cronies in the Democrat industrial complex in California. That's the arrogance and corruption that you get after 15 years of one-party rule. That's why I'm fighting to end it, and I'm very, very sure that we will end it because we can't go on like this. It doesn't have to be like this in California. It can be better. We can restore the California dream and make this state truly golden again.
Yes. What is your message to Spencer Pratt, who's been doing God's work?
Oh, he's
on
fantastic.
This?
I love Spencer.
Yeah.
I'm dying to meet him, actually. I was down in Altadena, actually, because we got another whole thing going on down there, which is now squatters moving in to fire damaged areas, and the police want to do something about it, but of course they can't because the laws in California are firmly on the side of squatters, not property owners, etc. So that's something I was looking at last week. Spencer's amazing. I'd love to meet him and work on this together with him.
Potential criminal charges, you think, if you had a properly run government here?
If you had a properly, yeah, all of it. There's so much going on that is just, you can't even keep up with the corruption that you get from this system. I mean, look at the way that you have. I mean, just this weekend, I just posted it. You can see it on my social media. There's something in California called behested payments, where politicians can literally ask businesses to give money to their pet causes, totally way in excess of any campaign donation limits, and then give them favors in exchange, and it's all perfectly legal. It's legalized corruption. In other states, you'd go to jail for that.
There it is, right on screen. Behested payments. Okay, let's click on the profile. Everyone follow Steve Hilton. If you're in California, you must vote for this man. I endorse this man. 333,000 people follow Steve. I've seen him. He's absolute fearless. You've never seen a Republican who just cracks his knuckles, cracks his neck, and then just walks right through the single most dangerous neighborhood possibly in the civilized world, which is Skid Row in Los Angeles. And Steve did it. And he did it fearlessly, and he listened to people. It was inspiring to see. So, Steve, we're proud to support you.
Thank you, Benny. Really appreciate it. Great to be with you as always. SteveHilton4governor.com. See you very soon. Let's do it. Let's find some other kind of Democrat hellhole.
I know exactly what I want to do. Well, Steve, let's hatch it right now. I want to go to the Palisades. I want to expose what's actually gone on there.
100%.
Can you get me in? Because they've locked it all down. Can you get us in?
Yeah, we can do that. I know. Okay. We'll get that done. If you can get us in,
I want to show people what's not been done, right? I want to expose it. So, yes. Steve, we'll go. Let's make that the next thing. I'll fly out
100%.
tomorrow. Yep.
All right.
Okay. Thank you, Steve. Godspeed.
See you soon.